you. I'm excited. I really am.
Thank you. Okay, so we'll dive right into it because I know your time is precious. I've asked all pros and contestants as I'm going along the same five Mirrorball Minute questions, which my followers all submitted. And I took the five top ones that I thought were the most unique or fun.
Yeah.
And so I'll start with that. And if we have time afterwards, I have a couple other things I'd love to chat about. Whatever you're comfortable with, please. There's no pressure at all in either direction of any kind.
Okay.
Okay, so number one word to describe your time on the show as a dancer.
Oh, wow. One word to describe my time. I honestly want to say rememberable.
Okay.
That would be the one because it was forever ago, but it's
Yeah.
one of the top memories that I have. If I think of anything, sometimes usually go straight to like the show, other than my children and getting married.
Yeah. Which technically your husband's from the show, right? Because that's where
Yeah,
you guys met. So yeah.
exactly. Yes. So,
Yeah.
yes, he was my producer in, yeah, season one.
How exciting.
Hmm.
Well, you really got a lot out of the show.
Oh, I did. Was really the reason I have my whole family.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Yeah.
Okay. If you had a favorite memory of your time as a dancer on the show, is there one particular one that pops out or that you think about, warmly or anything like that? It doesn't even have to be like the best, just the memory that pops up, your favorite one.
Yeah. Honestly, I think my favorite one was the first time I ever met Joey because it was the first time we started filming, the first time the show was actually real.
Yeah.
And so it was then tangible to me instead of just this kind of memory, like just what they're talking about, just something in the air. The show is going to begin, but all of a sudden it was real reality in my life. And so
Yeah.
memory was meeting Joey and being quite nervous to meet him because I didn't know of him. Some of the celebrities, I mean, at that season, we didn't know like they would be bringing celebrities that we may not know, but
Right.
I knew, not personally, but
Yeah.
I knew him. So
Yeah.
that memory of meeting him is one of my favorite of all.
Yeah. That's special. Were you a New Kids on the Block fan, like a fan? So that there was a
Mhm.
level of,
Huge.
yeah.
And I had a crush on Joey. So that's why I like knew him because I'm from the 80s and
Yeah.
he's just a couple of years older than me. He wasn't as I don't I mean I yeah. So I grew up with all of their music
Yeah.
and danced to all their songs. And so they're like Joey from New Kids on the Block. I was like, you got to be kidding me.
Was it as like once you met him, was that initial like did it go a little bit more smooth than you thought, or was it kind of bumpy at first and then kind of smoothed out?
Um, yeah, I mean, we were both nervous because it's just the first
Oh,
time
okay.
ever. And it was kind of, you walked in, he was already sitting in a chair. And then I walked in to sit next to him in the chair. And then we kind of had our first like sit down interview before we even started dancing together. And then once we started talking with one another, we realized we had more in common than we thought. Like I come from a very large family. He comes from a very large
Oh,
family,
that's true. Yeah.
entertaining family. He comes from an entertaining family. So we realized we actually had more, yeah, in common. Um, and we just knew like our partnership was going to work. Like after talking with one, we're like, okay, we kind of get one another already.
Yeah. Which I'm sure makes it like so much easier
Oh,
too to like coach and all that kind of stuff.
oh yeah. Mm, yes.
Which I'll circle back to that in a second. Is there a favorite dance that comes to mind that you love doing it? Now, Charlotta, she responded last week and she did have one that she enjoyed with John, but her actual most impactful, memorable dance was one that she did with Nick during the rematch episode. So I
Mm.
didn't even think about like, would it be a group dance? Would it be a dance that you did with a fellow pro? But is there a dance that like
Well,
just meant a lot?
the main dance that does pop out is the first dance ever. So Joey and I were the first couple ever to step foot on the floor of Dancing with the Stars. So that cha cha is ingrained in my brain. And it is truly my favorite dance because it was just the first time for America to see what the show was going to be about.
Yeah.
Joey and I danced together. and for me to kind of just showcase who I was.
Yeah.
Um, and I didn't realize, I was talking to Edita about this, and I didn't realize something that she said. She goes, Ashly, if your dance wasn't that dynamic, people would have shut off the show.
Oh, that's true.
So I never thought of that. And I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm just grateful the producers gave me that opportunity to showcase us and to just show the world, like, keep it on. I promise you, this is going to be a waste of your time. You're going to love what you're going to watch.
Yeah. I never thought about it like that too.
Yeah.
Probably best that you didn't think about that going into it,
Oh,
the pressure.
I was so scared. I think we were just like hoping just everything went out okay. Because
Yeah.
the very first episode, you can see how small the production was. Even my husband actually was sitting right behind Tom Bergeron in the seats because they were trying to fill the seats because
Oh,
our show. It wasn't like now where there's like a waiting list to try to
yeah.
get to come and see it. Um, so it was just like, let's just hope the first one goes well. And so for us, it was just, let's dance well. We didn't know
Yeah.
what the future was holding for it.
Oh, funny. Okay, so switch over to when it came to the celebrities that you had, what was the most either least favorite of yours to teach the style or just wasn't favorable for you? Like, was there one that was just the hardest to teach someone
So you're
who
about
doesn't come the what?
the celebrities I taught or the dance style.
So, what was the dance style that was hardest to teach celebrities who have most? I don't think any of them ever had ballroom experience. I think this past season was the first contestant who came onto the show with ballroom experience.
Yeah, I think honestly, some of the most difficult ones are the actual, in my opinion, like, well, actually, Quick Step was pretty, once we were together, they would catch it. But honestly, because cha-cha is such a different rhythm that they're normally listening to, that is one of the most difficult ones to teach because of the beat, how syncopated it is, how fast the footwork is, and that you're not in closed hold the whole time.
Ah,
Are dancing side by side, or you are in one handhold, or they then have to know how to dance by themselves, which is
oh,
terrifying when
yeah.
they're starting out. So to me, I feel like cha-cha, even though I did with every one of my celebrities a cha-cha, it's still difficult because for them to get that pattern, it would take them some time. Where with the other styles, say like even the waltz or the quick step, they are in close hold with us, so they can just follow within the movement of our bodies as we're dancing around. Um, but with the cha-cha and the other more open styles, those are a little bit more difficult because they have to kind of trust themselves to dance on their own.
Yeah, so essentially there's a lot more room for error too, because
Oh,
you're
yeah.
letting them dance.
Yeah. I
Which
think
is funny because
so I didn't let him, like, I kept a hold of him the whole time because he just was not very good. I mean, I have to be
yeah.
honest. Yeah.
We'll get to that in a second.
Mhm.
Okay, so my last question out of the five mirror ball questions is if you were asked back for season 35, would it be something you would consider as a pro?
Oh, I mean, I would never shut a door if it was
Yeah,
open, and that opportunity. Um, Obviously, I would love it. I know I'm definitely on the older side because all the young ones are my students that come from Utah. And
I
so
think that's so cool.
that was a privilege to be dancing with them when we came back. But I would not say no. I
Yeah.
would definitely approach that with open arms. But hypothetically, may not happen.
Yeah.
But
Well, Charlotta, when she answered, she said that she'd retired from dance long ago, but that she would consider either judging or coaching. And that got my head spinning. The coaching, there's fans and viewers across the board. There's those who've watched from day one, those who just started this past season, but there's so many who also are trying to learn about the seasons from the beginning. And so I think it would be so cool instead of the judges coaching, which I'm personally not a fan of. I don't think they should step into that role, especially when two of the three don't technically have that experience. It would
yeah.
be so cool to have you guys come back and coach, a couple, those that were on the front line, those that know the pressure, those that know the actual technique, things like that. So I thought that response was so cool. And that would be so neat to have so many fans across the board unified and
Oh,
seeing you guys.
I think I love that idea. And I'm definitely always down for coaching because that's really what I do right now is
Right.
I teach and coach on a daily basis, just like Charlotta.
Yeah.
but I still feel like I have a little bit of performing in me.
Yeah.
Like when I went back for the show, I just missed it so much. I didn't realize how much I missed it. Because I've just my career shifted more into teaching.
Right.
Work for a big dance convention, so I teach all the time. I'm on a platform, but I don't get to actually perform and showcase what I can do, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
for me, I'd be like, I would love it just to show like I'm, you
Still
know,
got it.
still got it.
Yeah.
I still dance, but I wanted to dance more even in the opening show with the other pros because I'm like, I could do this too.
Yeah.
Oh,
So actually,
it's
that's a good shift over to that transition. I do have a couple questions.
yeah,
Whose idea was the 20th? I know they refer to it as the birthday, but I like to call it the anniversary.
too.
Uh, but was it one of y'all who came to production? Sorry, the Texas in me, y'all.
No.
Or was it production who reached out to you guys?
So if, officially, it was production. It was Dina Katz that I know. Derek Huff. They were all talking about okay, our big. They did call it an anniversary, but I think on the show when they were saying birthday, it's kind of interesting. But
Yeah.
I felt also as an anniversary. And Derek was the one that just said, you know what? I really think it would be really nice to showcase those that paved the way, the original OGs. And so they did reach out when all of us were saying at first, they reached out just inviting us to the show, not even to be part of it.
Oh,
They just reached out to all the pros of the show and just said, hey, we're doing this show. We would love to have you in the audience. We want the Dancing with the Stars family there. So I mean, it was like, can my husband's going to come too because he's part of the family.
right.
And then when she saw that majority of the originals of the OGs were saying yes, she was like, okay, well, let's see about putting them in it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's how it went about.
Did you guys want it to be longer? Because as viewers, we loved what we saw, but I would, and I speak on behalf of most of us, we thought we were going to get more and we wanted to see more of you guys. And even to chat just a little bit with you guys, it was kind of short ended, it felt like. But were you guys hoping for more?
Um,
Or you were
I
just grateful to be there?
I was hoping for more. I know, like, I think the others maybe the talking would have been nice, like
Yeah.
dancing wise. Of course, I was like, I want to dance more. But then the others were like, you know what, we just like Alec was like, I haven't danced in like 10 years. It's like, ours is like kind of short and sweet. So it kind of depended between the six. Personally, I would have loved to do more, but then technically we actually weren't even supposed to stay in the sky box. We were
Oh,
after done dancing, we were supposed to go into the seats, but they were like, we kind of like you up here. And so we're like, why not? Why not stay? We're here for the whole show. Let's just be up here and we'll celebrate with these couples as they're coming up for the interviews. Um, so yeah, so it was just short and sweet, and we wish we could have been part of more of it, but you
yeah.
know,
Okay, to go backwards just a little bit, I do one of the questions that my followers submitted, several of them had to do with your time with Master P.
okay.
And uh, for me, as a viewer, it felt like it was bumpy. There were a lot of roadblocks when it came to him. There seemed like, I don't know if disrespect is the right word to use, but it felt like it was, and I know he was not intended to be on the show and he was filling in. But was it as frustrating to be his dance pro partner as it was seeing as a viewer, like looking in? And you
Yeah.
can touch on that however you're comfortable with.
Yeah, of course. So yes, so going into second season, here I'm coming off of dancing with Joey McIntyre, where we were, we made it to the semi. We were a really good couple. And here I get to second season. Originally, I'm supposed to dance with his son, Little Romeo. And
Right.
I'm already started practicing with Little Romeo. And I can already kind of sense, like when they started dancing, when he started dancing, like there was just something off. Um, just kind of like, it wasn't quite the right time for Romeo to be on the show. Like he
Right.
was at the time. And I felt like that was a lot of pressure for a 16-year-old. So
Right.
then when he had a basketball accident,
Right.
I think is what they said, and his dad had to fulfill his contract when he walked in. I mean, he is like 6'5", I'm 5'2". So
Right.
already height was completely off. And he, I want to say honestly, to this day, was one of the most difficult people I've ever had to teach in my life. I tried my best to just keep a positive attitude because all I knew was from first season. So
Right.
here I'm off, and then I'm coming into the season with this kind of mindset. And we would have practices set for, let's say, 4 hours. And he would show up the last 45 minutes of 4 hours. So first 3 hours and 15 minutes, I would sit there and I'd be like, okay. So I'd ask like my producers who are with us, uh, show me how the camera works. I want to see what happens on your side because I am required to sit here and wait. I can't leave until he shows up. So then when he would show up, it was so frustrating because he was just like loud and he wouldn't he wouldn't wear shoes. And
Yeah.
here I take my craft very seriously because I
Yeah.
love dance is my life. And the way he was just so nonchalant about the whole process was extremely frustrating. And he only gave me 6 hours to go live in front of, at the time, it was like 24 million people that would watch the show live.
Yeah.
And I never not like to feel prepared. And here I'm like pulling him around. That's why I said I probably didn't let go of his hand in the cha-cha because he still didn't even know his right from his left.
Yeah.
So I would just dance circles around him. That was like the only thing I can kind of think about if he just stayed stationary and I just kind of moved.
Yeah.
So yes, it was a bit frustrating. And then we would have our sit down interviews and like I remember one of them saying like I was like it's like a tug and pull, like you got to try to help me here.
Yeah.
Like I'm rooting for both of us, but when the energy is you don't want to be here, it's
Yeah.
really difficult because I do, and this is my job. And at the time when a celebrity or a pro, when we'd get eliminated, we didn't come back until the last show of that season, and so
Hmm.
stopped getting paid.
Yeah.
Right. So I moved to LA and this is my job. So I'm wanting to stay on as much as I possibly can.
Right.
And he was just like, oh, don't worry. I got it taken care of. And I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. You got it taken care of. Well, I'm pretty sure that season the producers made the exact decision to, because we made it to 4 of the shows,
I know.
right?
That's incredible.
Like still in the history of the show, we have the lowest score ever.
Right.
And I had a friend of mine that kind of like gave me almost the heads up, like, hey, you may be going, which they never do, ever.
Right. Yeah.
But there was just something different because he wouldn't come for band call. He wouldn't come for camera blocking. Um, I would do all that by myself. So then secretly, I was teaching a different celebrity, actually. I had a second secret celebrity I was
I,
teaching
I
behind.
saw that in one of your interviews, and I do have questions about that because that's just how time wise, like how was that for you? And where was Dancing with the Stars? What was going to be the breaking point? Like when he would start, because you said he was even standing behind, like, was it behind the judges
Mhm.
in costume, right? Was it white?
What was David in? It could have been
I
white.
was trying to look because there's only so much footage of like,
It's David Carradine. So
right.
that celebrity David Carradine, I want to say he is in white, but he had his cha-cha costume on.
So what was that? What were they? Was it, did they really just think he wouldn't show up at all?
Yeah.
And so that was, so were you spending 8 hours, like 4 hours with David and then waiting 4 hours for him?
Well, Master P, I think, would give me just different hours. Yeah. So I think with David, I think I worked like 2 hours a day because we just didn't know. But they were just like, let's just
Yeah.
add the first dance down. And then I already started teaching him my second dance, the quick step that Master P did eventually do. Um, so I was just there to work. So wherever they
Yeah.
went, I was willing and able to do whatever to,
Yeah.
to just be there. And so if it was working with David, who was great to work with, I mean, interesting, but really fun. Kung Fu, cha cha, like
Yeah.
did the splits and the kick over my head. Like we had some of the funnest things, way different than Master P.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was the worrisome, is that would he show up? And when he finally did for the actual dress rehearsal, he was there. They were just like, let's just go with this. So we just kept with Master P. But it was extremely frustrating, not just for me, but I think for the whole cast. I
Yeah.
remember Jerry Rice approaching me and just apologizing for Master P's behavior because he just wouldn't show. And he was like, this is just not right. No person should have this much disrespect to another human.
Yeah. And it's got to be another part that has to be hard is that you see everyone else like enjoying the moment, embracing it, having fun. And here you are like, gosh, I just got to get through this day. Like, that has to be kind of a factor to consider, the frustration and heaviness of that season had to have been tough.
It
And
was really tough.
I did talk about my season 2 YouTube drop this morning, and I mentioned my feedback was that I thought Len and Bruno giving twos was their way of like pushing, we're gonna just be done with him because at that point did he talk back to Len at some point? I feel like I don't know. Just there between the way he treated you, at least I know editing can sometimes. That's why I wanted to ask you because I know editing can sometimes be for the drama and all of
Oh,
that. Um, it just felt like, gosh, this is not a good fit, and we're just gonna take our chances and let this one go.
yeah, I think that's honestly what happened was just when you just I mean, I know he was completely out of his comfort zone, and so he's really trying to
Right.
be cool. And I understand that
Yeah.
where his whole demeanor of his life is I'm like the coolest
Yeah.
and I cannot look like I can't look cool type of thing. That's I won't wear the dance shoes. Are you kidding me? And he throws them across the room.
Yeah.
I think he was just like even asking himself, like, what am I doing here?
Yeah.
How did I end up being on this show where
Like my kid better love me.
everything and he just was just trying to fulfill a contract. I think that's honestly how it felt.
Yeah.
Where he didn't understand that my own feelings were never under consideration. And he was respectful to the sense when he came to my hometown in Utah. He did have a lot of respect for my family when he came to see my family. And
Okay.
um, that whole episode, I think, was probably my favorite of working with him. Not
Mm.
season of second two, but working with him. That I mean, we literally almost missed our plane because he was so nonchalant. I was holding the door, and the lady was like, we can arrest you if you hold this door any longer. You'll be kicked off the plane. And I see him running, and I'm like, he's coming right now. He's coming. And they're like, you got to let go of the door because we had to catch this flight to go do all of these things in
Yeah.
Utah. Like, we were on a time crunch. So I think finally, like, just towards the end, we were just trying to get through it. And then
Yeah.
when we did get eliminated, it was honestly like a relief because I then was able to work with Tom Bergeron. So I had the wonderful opportunity to teach him. Um, so it was like a blessing in disguise. So working from one end, and then I get the most amazing human to work with who was on time, actually early to every rehearsal. He makes me laugh. He was the hardest worker. He tried the quick step of all the styles that he
Yeah.
wanted to do. So,
Just a couple more questions.
mhm,
So, actually, you probably wrapped up with no one. So see, after that, you have Harry Hamlin,
mhm,
who looked like it was a lot of fun.
yeah.
And surprisingly was a shorter time frame with him than Master P. And then you took a few seasons off, motherhood came around, and then you came back for season 10 with Buzz Aldrin. After that, or in between any of that, I've read some of your interviews and watched some of your things where there were times where you were supposed to be on and then didn't work out. Um, was the final straw your decision, or it was like you, or it was just there? They kept doing the back and forth with you, is from what I understand. Okay.
Pretty much. I think it just got also like after I danced with Buzz, so that was season 10, and I did have my two little boys. After that season, it was always, you just never know. And it's who they were feeling that what celebrity can be matched up with you. And I
Right.
have two kids. I was the only mother pro on the show. And
Yeah.
so if that took under factor of having my children at the time, no one else had them. Like Tony had his children, but I feel like it's really different for a boy than it is
Sure.
for the girl.
Yeah.
So they would be like, oh, well, we're bringing you on. And then 3 days before, sorry, it's just not going to work. We're going in a different direction. So the last one, when it was finally the last call, which was also another blessing, and they're like, okay, we're going to bring you on. And then they called and said we didn't. That was the day I found out I was pregnant with my third. And I was like, you know what? This is God's way of just saying it's just time to close that chapter and let's focus on what is in front of you. And
Yeah.
it's my children. And then I was teaching on a dance convention, and I still do to this day, a different one, and I love being hands-on with this next generation.
Yeah.
And it's really where I'm intended to be. Reality TV is reality TV. And I don't feel like it was a world of being here, present. Yeah. And I wanted to just be more hands-on with this generation, which I was so lucky because a lot of my students are on the show.
Yeah.
Get them to the point of knowing that they have the star power to do what I was able to do too.
Yeah, which in itself is a different fulfillment.
Mm-hmm.
So you get to have experienced both. All right, last question. Are you still in touch with any of the pros or your former partners? Do you guys stay friends? Is it just like a social media, like your friends, your acquaintances, no bad blood, but is there someone like you're still super close with or anything like that?
Of course, super close still with Louis, because he also lives, even though we haven't seen each other in a long time. Our first time seeing together was when we went back to LA, but we lived literally 5 minutes from one another here in Utah. But we're still close in ways of just keeping in touch with still the OGs.
Yeah.
And obviously all the ones in Utah, I'm extremely close with all of them. So when it comes to the pros, yes. When it comes to the celebrities, Joey and I, we would talk now and then through social media. I'm actually closer with Joey's wife, where I actually have more interaction, and it is just through social media, or if I'm able to see his shows, like I can go and see him. But for the others, Buzz Aldrin, I think I saw probably 10 years ago when he came to Utah. He and I were able to meet up, but then it kind of fit just because my life, I mean, you could probably hear my daughter.
Yeah, no.
It's full of wonderful children and dancing and just juggling all of that. And
I love it. I love it. Well, thank you so much for taking time out of your day. I really appreciate it. You have no idea. And I look forward to chatting with you and hearing more from you. And I'll let you know when I get this ready to go.
Hey, okay. Thank you so much for reaching out. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Ashly. Have a great day.
Bye.